Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Deadpool, part of the 2016 X-Men wave featuring the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure. Now, one thing that I will say is that Deadpool here does not come with any of those Build-A-Figure parts, but that does not mean he doesn't come with a whole bunch of other stuff. For the package, you can see you've got a really nice open window that does fully showcase, obviously, the figure as well as all of his accessories, and he comes with a lot. On the side here, you got a really nice image of Deadpool. That's the same image on the opposite side. And then on the top, it's actually kind of cool. You got a little Deadpool logo right there. Now, for a comparison, all the other figures that are currently in this wave actually have an X-Men logo there. And there's a couple other little kind of fourth wall breaking parts on this package, which I think is really cool. Down the bottom, you got various warnings. On the back of the package, you got all the figures that are currently available and a little bit of a read-up that says, combined with impressive agility and stamina, Deadpool's powers of self-healing make him nearly impossible to fight. And then you also got a little bit of a cartoon right down there with a waiter Deadpool saying, "I date me." And again, just kind of showing a comparison. Obviously, you have that there. That's not there on any of the other figures. And then, hey, look, you got Deadpool with some little hearts put there. And obviously, that's not on this. So Deadpool really likes this figure. So again, like, it's cool. You know, that personality of Deadpool kind of comes into play with this figure, and I dig it. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Deadpool opened up and out of his packaging. And I gotta say, initial first impressions, I'm really very impressed with how this figure actually turned out. That's not to say that there aren't a few minor problems that I have with my particular piece, but in general, I'm very happy with it. Now, as I talked about, he does not come with one of the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure pieces, but what he lacks there, he makes up for in a ton of accessories. So starting off, let's take a look at all those. And starting off first, as you can see, he does come with a giant bazooka. Now, in the package, this little boxing glove is attached to it. As you can see, it just pegs right in there, but it's kind of nice. I mean, I don't know necessarily a lot about Deadpool in terms of a character, so I don't know if this is in reference to something from a comic book or anything like that, but I just, in terms of hilarity, I think it's funny. Sculpt-wise, you can see you got a really nice, fairly simple sculpting for the actual bazooka or missile launcher, whatever it actually is. Now, what does kind of suck is it is just molded in this greenish plastic. That's a very similar element to a lot of these weapons. It's just molded in the color that it is, and that's a little bit unfortunate. There's no paint wash or anything like that on it, so while sculpting-wise it looks pretty good, paint-wise it's pretty drab if you ask me. It also does come with a pair of handguns that, as you can see, again, just molded in this kind of silverish gray plastic, but just overall lacking in terms of the paint detail. Sculpt-wise looks really nice, but a nice silver paint or even like a dry brush or something, or even if you painted the handles or something black, that would have made these look a lot nicer. He also does come with what kind of looks like a laser kind of rifle. Unfortunately, mine, you can see, is a little bit warped, so I would have to heat that up and kind of straighten it or something like that. But again, real nice sculpt of detail throughout it. You can see a lot of nice, molded in parts and everything, just no paint detail, really. And you can see that it's kind of got this kind of marbleized sort of look, which in terms of toys is usually not a very good kind of plastic. It's very similar to, Transformer fans would recognize it as GPS or gold plastic syndrome. Whenever you would see gold plastic that's marbleized like that, you worry that the thing would break over time. So nice kind of sculpting in there, lack of paint detail kind of hurts it, but in general, pretty decent looking. And then you got in that same color plastic, kind of like this, I don't know, maybe like a grenade launcher or something, but again, it's kind of warped. I don't know if it's supposed to be straight. I mean, it would probably look a little bit better if you straightened it, but again, real nice sculpted detail. You can see the handles have some nice sculpting in there, but you're just lacking paint on the whole thing. Now you come to the swords, and that's actually got some paint detail. You got some kind of regular gray plastic there, but then the handle, actually, they take it a little bit further and put a black paint and then some nice red dots kind of going through there, which is really very nice. I do like that. One thing that I do want to note to you, though, is that these swords are curved. That'll come in handy later on when I show you his actual sheaths. He does come with a dagger that, again, you got that gray plastic, but you also do have some nice paint down there for the actual handle. He also does come with an alternate head sculpt here, which this actually does look really cool. They put a lot of nice paint detail in this as well. You can see, just in general, a lot of like burnt kind of potting and everything throughout the whole head. I mean, it's really kind of gross in a very cool kind of way. You got yellow eyes. I love the fact that he's smiling. I mean, that's just, you know, perfect for the character, I guess. But overall, I mean, like, really nice paint detail throughout the entire thing. Now, like I said, just gives it a very burnt and ugly sort of look. He also does come with a taco, and it's almost as if this is where they put a lot of the, the paint detail for the whole thing, I guess. But you can see you got a little taco shell, and then you got some green and some red and yellow kind of thrown in there. So it's just, again, much like the boxing glove is just kind of funny. It's funny that he includes a taco. I dig that. So probably his best accessory probably is his little taco. And honestly, I don't really know if I'm going to be displaying that with the figure. But for his accessories, there they all are. And the cool thing about the figure is that a lot of the extra accessories actually can be stored on the body. So you got a little holster section right here on his little thigh. You can put one of his handguns down there, kind of have to wedge that in there and get, come on, get, there we go. You got another little holster section up here on his belt that you can slide that in right there. You got a little section down here on his right leg that you can put his dagger, so slide that in there just like so. Now, like I was talking about, you got the swords. As you can see, these are, all of them are curved, but his sheaths are not, and that's something, I mean, this is a little bit softer of a material than this, so my concern would be when you put this in, obviously you can feel it kind of pushing on it, and it's kind of straightening out the actual blade, and, or I guess warping the sheaths. As you can see, they do kind of bend outward, so I guess my concern over time would be maybe damaging the blade or something because of the amount of tension that's on this. It doesn't, I don't know over time how bad that would actually be, because like I said, these actually do kind of angle out when you put the swords in there. So it's just something that we're going to have to see over time. And then you got, and I don't know if this is the way that it's supposed to be because it looks kind of weird, but you got a little hole on his back, and then you get a little peg right there that you can actually take the bazooka and peg that in there. It's a little bit tricky to kind of get to. But, well, if, it's tricky, and then I don't even do it. There we go. So you can have something like that. It does kind of push the sheaths again, so you do kind of have to move that around and pull that out like that. There we go. So you can do something like that, I guess, but you've got storage there. Then you could just have them hold these guns. So like I said, a lot of storage. There's nowhere really to store the taco. You could, I don't know, probably have him hold that too. But in general, though, figure-wise, I am pretty happy with how this turned out. There's a lot of nice painted detail, a lot of nice sculpted detail in here as well. One part that I really do like is actually in just the face itself. What I actually like is they sculpted it where one eye is squinting a little bit, whereas the other one is wide open, as if he's kind of giving like a what kind of look. And you can see that you got some nice sculpted detail in the actual brow area that kind of wrinkles like the actual mask area. Very cool. And then you can see that he's got a little ponytail kind of thing. So sculpting wise on the actual mask looks really very nice. I do dig that. Staying zoomed in here so that you can see all that extra detail. You got some nice silver paint here on the little clips right here, some nice red and black and everything. Again, nice sculpted detail throughout the entire thing. You can see a nice striation through his chest muscles and everything. You got his abs and everything down there. Some nice striation as well in the arms and all that kind of stuff. I do absolutely love how he's got a little pinky finger sticking up. I mean, that's just hilarious. Again, the funny part about this figure is that it just has so much of that Deadpool personality. I really do dig it. Now, you come down here to the belt itself, getting this out of the way. You can kind of see that, unfortunately, it's in this kind of rust color, which really doesn't look all that good. Nice sculpted detail throughout the little pouches and everything. It's just the brownish, reddish colors, whatever, it just doesn't really look all that good in terms of the coloring. And then you got that down here with this thigh bit. Again, nice pouches and a nice sculpt work on there. Just paint-wise, kind of suffers. You do got some green paint right here for the little grenades. Nothing, unfortunately, on the handle or anything, but I do like the paint detail on the belt buckle. Coming down to the rest of the legs, again, some nice detail with the actual musculature in the legs. Come down here, you got some nice shin pad paint, and then you got some nice silver paint on the actual buckles for his little boots. I do also like how, you know, sculpting-wise, they come out as if they're the real straps and everything. Really nice. Some good sculpted detail on the bottom of the feet as well. You can see that he does have peg holes, which it's a little bit tricky to find stands that work for him, but there are out there. But sculpting wise, I am really pretty happy with it. Paint on some areas could be a little bit better, but in general, I really do like the way that this figure actually turned out. Now, in terms of his articulation, the head is on a little joint right here that moves forward and back. It is also on a ball joint. For the head swap, you just pull it off. It's just a little ball joint. But this is a really small kind of ball joint or socket to get the little ball peg on there. So you're pushing that on there, getting that in there. So you do have that, and then when it's on there, it's really very stiff. It's like the socket section is too small for the actual ball. But, I mean, that just looks great. I do love that. You got a nice rotation here with the shoulder. As you can hear, they're actually on ratchet joints, which is nice. Ratchets moving forward and back. No, is there any in and out? I don't think there's any real armpit joint or anything. It does rotate here at the upper part of the bicep. He's got two joints here at the elbow, but really, because of the muscle right there, you don't get a heck of a lot. So you move this up like so, and then you get a little bit of extra joint movement because of that double joint, but not a ton. The wrists do rotate. They also move in and out. There's a little sliding joint kind of thing that allows you to move them in and out just like so, but you can't really move it out too much because the forearm guards right here, as you can see, they kind of come over and cover up the hand. So that is a little bit limited going out, but you do get that nice range of motion actually moving inward, which is real cool. He does have an upper diaphragm joint. Again, it's on a ratchety kind of joint. He does rotate at the waist. Hips move forward, they move back, they move in and out a little bit. Very stiff on this figure. Rotates at the upper part of the thigh. He's got two joints here at the knee, so you can move it there, and then you can fold it all the way back just like so. He does have a cut right above his boot area, so you can rotate that. You got ankles that move forward and back, not too much forward. It moves back very nicely, but you can't really move it forward too much because the boot section kind of rubs into the little shin pad thing right there, so you can't really move it up too much. And then there's actual ankle tilt on it, which is really very nice. So tons of articulation in this figure, and just in general, really a very cool looking piece. One part that I don't particularly like though is because of the way that the boots actually are. You can see they're a little bit rounded. He kind of wants to roll. If you don't get it perfectly level, he wants to kind of like rock back and forth. That's just because the feet are a little bit rounded, so you're kind of just fiddling with it to get him to stand, and as you can see, he's gonna waterfall, and there we go. So that's one of the problems that you're gonna have with it. So you have all that articulation, but a little bit of it is actually limited because he doesn't have, you know, flat feet to give him a solid stance. Then for his actual height, bringing in my little tape measure, you can see that, now what is that? About 6.5 inches or so? Around there, you got that. A little bit less than 6.5 inches, I guess. Which works. I think that's a pretty good size. But overall, I really like this guy. As I said, he doesn't come with any pieces to actually build Juggernaut, so in terms of getting him, he's not necessary to complete that figure. But I think the overall popularity of the Deadpool character is really what's going to sell this toy. Overall, the look on him is really very nice. There are some aspects that I wish were improved, such as some of the, minor paint applications, but as a whole, I think it comes across very nicely. And while he might not come with that Juggernaut Build-A-Figure part, he does come with a lot of other accessories that really makes displaying this guy a lot of fun. So if you're a fan of Deadpool, this is an absolute must-have. And right now is probably one of the hardest ones to actually come by. So if you're looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. As of the recording of this video, this entire wave has already sold out twice on Big Bad Toy Store. But I do have some good news. If you have missed out on getting this wave, maybe the third time's the charm for you, as this entire case is now available again on Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS, where hopefully you can check out availability on this, as well as the rest of the Marvel Legend figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please like and share it. Also be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review of mine. And as always, until next time, I'll talk to you later.